Welcome back to NFL Kings. Thank you all for joining us today as we break down the Week 11 matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings. This game looks like a 7-point favorite for the Vikings currently at 48.5. The 18th ranked team versus the 30th ranked team will be competing indoors, so no factor on the weather. Let's see. Looking at the injury report, shouldn't be too many major ones. Irv Smith, Ezra Cleveland's out for Minnesota. Dallas is pretty much it. Their center's out for the season. Randy Gregory's illness potentially. Nothing too crazy though. Nothing really where I would be worried. Just gonna double check one more thing here, just to make sure there's nothing I'm missing as far as injuries are concerned. Dantzler. Oh, that's right. They put Diggs. Oh, wow. Diggs is on IR. I forgot about that. Wait. Yeah. Dallas could be in trouble in their secondary. Big time. Big time could be in trouble. Wow. Yeah, Thielen Jefferson matchups just look so good. Okay, yeah, so we're going to look at the matchups real quick. And just starting with Minnesota. Wow. Wow, does it favor Minnesota on this side. So you look at defensively, obviously Lawrence is still playing pretty well. Alden Smith's actually playing pretty well for them. Their edges are pretty good, but the tackles for Minnesota are pretty good too. So I don't see a favorite one way or another there. Shanley's actually playing well. Van Der Esch, Jalen Smith are not playing great, but they're not bad. Their corners are really where the question is going to come. Corners and safeties are just not good for Dallas. They're not. Justin Jefferson, expect him to have a very good day. Thielen should have a pretty good day. Let's see. Obviously, Cousins playing well. Dalvin Cook's obviously one of the best running backs in football and just absolutely owning. And just looking at the numbers, too, you're talking about the Minnesota Vikings, number 1 yards per play, top rushing attack, top 5 rushing attack, nearly 183 a game in the last 3 because Dalvin Cook's just been going absolute ham. And they have also been stopping the run really well, which is nice. And you're going against a team that's on the season the worst, literally second worst behind Houston, and not quite as bad lately. I think some of this, their defense is playing a little bit better lately, but they've also been kind of protecting, trying to run the ball more, trying to protect their defense a little bit more. They're controlling time of possession a little bit more. All those kind of factors, obviously, because they're not as good of a team, so they have to play a completely different type of football. Because normally, obviously, you'd see that's really high, but it's not realistic because it's 137 is really what their actual passing stats are because they're playing atrocious quarterbacks, which in this game, who is it? It's going to be Andy Dalton probably, right? Who's not played well at all. Obviously, that's a big factor in the game, though. He's not bad. He's much better than who they've had. Zeke's playing horrible. Receivers aren't playing anything special. Going against, unfortunately, Minnesota's defense has actually been playing better and better each week. Harrison Smith has just been all over the field, absolutely balling. Defensive front itself is not great, though, and can definitely be run on, and that could be a factor in this game. However, Zach Martin's literally the only healthy offensive lineman for Dallas. Williams is playing Connor Williams is actually playing pretty well. That's pretty good grades. So it's really just, but their right tackle missing. Yeah, it's so big. This guy's horrible. Horrible. That could be a huge factor in this game. Their tackles could be the big factor in this game. We'll see if that actually plays itself, especially with the way that Minnesota likes to bring pressure. And you look at Minnesota's stats over the last 3, really solid. 230 in the middle of the pack, and obviously they've been stopping the run really, really well lately. Going against a team that's going to try to run the ball a lot, that's a big factor in this game. And turnovers, obviously, they don't really create turnovers. Penalties have been kind of bad for them. That's been kind of one of the reasons why, especially early on in the season, they were losing some games. It's just like offensively, they're really, really, really doing well. They don't have to yards per pass, number one, though. They're getting some big pass plays down the field. Obviously, that's really high. A lot more to do with he's had some really bad games. Don't get me wrong. This could be a Kirk Cousins, atrocious game. But he's at home in Minnesota in a dome, good conditions. He's playing a bad defense. This definitely favors Minnesota. Statistically, it looks like everything pretty much favors Minnesota outside of, let's see. I'd say the only thing that really favors Dallas is... Okay, yeah, nothing actually favors Dallas. They literally are not better in like anything as far as like, because these stats for the season long are not real. That's with Dak Prescott, not Andy Dalton. So that's why it's, you could technically say they throw less picks, but not really, because I wouldn't say that lately because this quarterback play has been way worse than Cousins. So there's nothing that favors the Dallas Cowboys to win this game. If they win this game, it's just pure and simple. Minnesota lays another egg, but they've been trending the opposite way. And you'll notice some of the interesting. It's actually gone over for Minnesota on a lot of their games. That's really interesting. The only ones where they were under was at 49, 54, 44 and a half, obviously. This one was really surprising. This one went under. I had a little bit of surprise at that just because of being it's so low. But Chicago can't score. Their offense is atrocious, 13 points a game. Detroit, they give up 20 to Detroit. He's got a pretty good offense. And 22 to Green Bay. Obviously, this was their last really bad game against Atlanta when Kirk Cousins, I think, threw 4 picks. It was 3 or 4 picks. So that was just an atrocious game. But they've gotten back to the running game here. It's Dalvin Cook show. Dalvin Cook hasn't really do much here, but it was just a pretty good game overall for their defense. Played well as well, which is interesting. And then you just notice Dallas. 19, 9, 3, 10. They just haven't been able to score any points against Arizona's defense. Decent. Washington actually has a pretty good defense. Philly actually has a pretty good defense. Pittsburgh definitely has defense. So you know what though? Those 4 defenses are all right in the realm of what Minnesota can do though too. I'd say that this, and this are better than Minnesota's defense. Arizona's is almost identical. The Giants, the Cleveland. This was before Dak got hurt, and they were actually putting points on the board. Interesting. Yeah, so it's going to be a struggle, I feel like, for them offensively. Obviously, Andy Dalton could have a good day. Don't get me wrong. Andy Dalton could come back and obviously have a good day. 4 or 5. They really think they're going to get 5 wins? I don't know about that. I think 4. I think they're a 4-win team. I really do. I just don't see them winning more than 2 more games. Who are they beating on this schedule? Who are they beating? They're beating maybe Cincinnati? Maybe? I don't think they're beating Washington at home. No way. Dude, Washington's defense are going to kill them. And the best quarterback in the division right now is Alex Smith. No, they're not. They're not. That's the only game they're going to be favored in is Washington. They're not winning 2 games. They're not even winning 1. Who are they beating? Who are they beating here? They're not beating San Francisco. They're not beating the Giants. They're not beating. Honestly, the Bengals. Who are you taking in those games? I'm taking the Bengals. I'm taking the Giants. I'm taking Philly. I'm taking Washington. I'm taking San Francisco in all those games. I think they're going to finish as a 2-win team, maybe 3 wins now. Now that I think about it, they're bad. They're a bad football team. And you're talking about Minnesota is competing for a playoff spot now. They're on the trend back up. They're going to want to win this game badly. You're the favorite. Whereas they're only an underdog in 2 of their games for a reason, and these are some good football teams. I killed them. Okay, yeah. Okay, even more so. I'm actually even bullish on Minnesota now. Minnesota's winning this game. There's no way Dallas is winning this game outside of Andy Dalton have the best game of his fucking career. I mean, let's be honest, folks. This does not look good for Dallas at all. And this rushing attack's going to just absolutely own them if they're not careful. Yeah, no. All right, so looks like we have to go Minnesota here. Not seeing much in the way of Dallas winning this game outside of their defense playing really well, making some turnovers on Kirk Cousins. As long as Kirk Cousins doesn't throw multiple picks in this game, they should win. That's pretty much the only way Minnesota loses this game is if Kirk Cousins throws multiple picks and or like crazy fumbles happen, crazy weird turnovers happen. But you're talking about a team that really struggles on turnovers. Dallas, worst turnover team, but they're not great. They give away 1.6 a game, but that's because of Cousins. That's why that Cousins factor is there. It's there. He may lay an egg every once in a while, but I mean, after playing well on Monday night too, pretty well. I mean, Justin Jefferson's just balling out, grading out as one of the best receivers in football right now. Thielen's obviously still playing really good football. They're going against some bad corners for Dallas as well. Dalvin Cook just absolutely balling. Like, who's tackling Dalvin Cook on Dallas right now? I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them. I have to lean. Yeah, we're in Minnesota. Minnesota, I would take Minnesota. If you get it for 6.5, too, I would also consider that bet. But I definitely like them along the money line. That's probably where I have the most. So those are. We did our 4 best bets for this week and analysis on all those games. Each week, we're going to do more and more content and do more and more breakdowns, as well as more and more statistical analysis, and just kind of give you everything you need to get you ready for these games each week. So good luck in your Week 11 matchups. Be sure to subscribe for more content, as we will be uploading more and more videos each week. And thank you all for watching. And good luck in all your Week 11 matchups.